Hello there, Carolina from State Adventures here. I want to share with you this Amazon adventure that we've been working on for this Christmas, New Year's Eve period of this year. Super excited to find availability at the places that I love. So let me share my screen. I'll just take 10 minutes of your time and tell you a little bit about this itinerary. So I know you want to go to the Amazon. I know you're interested in cruising down the river, which is fabulous. And I'm definitely your girl because I love the jungle. I have been to the Amazon all over South America, in Ecuador, in Peru, in Brazil, multiple lodges, multiple cruises. I just love the rainforest. So I'm excited to share some of my favorite places with you here. So what I chose for your trip this December is the Amazon in Ecuador. You will just have been in Peru a few months ago, and the Amazon in Peru is beautiful as well, but it is split between two very far away regions. And in one region, there are lodges, and in another region, there are cruises. So it's not very easy to combine a cruise and a lodge there. And that's something that I really was hoping to do for you. So I have put together an option in the Ecuadorian Amazon, which is my first experience ever in the jungle. I spent a week in the jungle in Ecuador years ago. That was my first experience. And to this day, after exploring all these lodges, all these cruises, all these regions, that is where I saw the most animals. That is where I really felt the most remote. So because it's not as visited as Peru, as much visited as Peru, it is spectacular. So let me show you what we're going to do. So you're going to arrive on December 23rd to Quito. That's the main airport in Ecuador. And right at the airport, there's an airport hotel called Wyndham. It's a great new property. We're going to pick you up, check you in. You can rest. Most flights arrive in the evening. So it's just a night sleeping, because the next day we're going to go back to the terminal and fly to Coca. So here's the airport hotel. As you see, like it's like an hour away from the city. So it's a beautiful countryside outside. And then the next day, just a 25-minute flight, and we are in the jungle. Coca is the main airport entry to the jungle in Ecuador. Once we arrive, the team from the Anaconda cruise ship, it's a luxury ship, will pick you up and take over, and you will spend 3 nights on board the Anaconda. What they do is phenomenal. They include all the excursions. They know all the communities. They have a beautiful chef on board to take care of you and spoil you every time you go back from an excursion. So it's really well put together and a thought out itinerary. It is the jungle. So whatever itinerary you see in the jungle, no matter what anyone tells you, it is based on weather, climate, water levels. So if the water drops and is very low, they won't go down, a tributary or anything like that. So just keep that in mind, that this is the jungle, it's the wild, wild west, and anything can happen. But they really know their Amazon here in Ecuador on the Anaconda. This company has been around for 40 years, and they have 2 sister boats, the Anaconda and the Manatee. And I love what they do, because they have indoor living, outdoor space, so you can be on the cruise while it's moving and feel the breeze. And that's the good thing about the cruise versus a lodge, is that the air is always moving and you are not exposed to mosquitoes as much, which sometimes you see mosquitoes all the time, sometimes you don't see any at all. So it's very strange how they operate. The other thing that I love about cruising down the river as opposed to being in the lodge is that you are exposed to the sun. You will notice when we continue on and I show you the lodge, the lodges are under a canopy, and you are in there deep in the jungle and you're doing all these excursions, but you're rarely exposed to the sunshine. So I love this combination of cruising and lodging, because you get to see the life from a river and also life from under the canopy. So 3 nights on the cruise. Every day you get off, you do excursions with their own guides. They have kayaks on board. They have a hot tub on the top floor. They have some really wonderful excursions for you arranged, fishing for piranhas and whatnot. And they also have communities that they visit, because they sponsor communities. So we actually include in your name a donation to a local community So you will see that the boat will bring maybe school supplies or medicine, and they will actually drop it off while you're cruising and visiting the village. So it's really a nice combination of doing something amazing, but also doing something good. So after 3 nights on the cruise, and you can read more about the boat and read more about the attractions that you're going to see on the cruise, I wanted to show you this map. So this is the river that you're going to go. This vein of the Amazon is called the Napo. So this is the place where you're going to be cruising. So the airport is here, Coca, that's the airport. A little boat will take you to the main boat, which is the Anaconda. You'll cruise for 3 days down, up and down the river. And then when the cruise is over, I'm going to take you to the Napo Wildlife Center. This is the best lodge in the Ecuadorian Amazon. I have been working with them for 17 years. They are fantastic. It is actually operated partially by a local Quechua community. So you will hear Spanish, English, and Quechua while staying there. And you will also see the local community members being a part of the excursions and the activities. And they actually have a smaller lodge that's completely inside a village. I usually send people with children there because then they can play soccer with the local kids and have their dreams, read by the shaman in the morning. And they do some really fun things. So the reason I wanted to show you this map, and I apologize if it's really far away from you, but when you pass here, Anangu, there is a smaller little river, or just a vein of a river that goes deep into this green forest, and that is where the Napa Wildlife Center is. So it can only be reached by a little motorboat. Large ships cannot go, and that brings me to the pros of staying at a lodge. When you're on a Amazon River cruise, you will only go up this main river and do little hikes here and there into the jungle, just peeking in, really, because how far can you walk in a few hours? But when you're at a lodge, you're really deep in. You're away from the noise traffic of the river. You're away from any light pollution. So that is why there's going to be so many animals and a lot more exposure to nature here when you're deep in the jungle. So I wanted to just kind of explain to you where you will be. You'll go down the river, but you will also be in this green region here. So this is how you will arrive on a motorboat, so that you don't have to worry about any of your luggage or anything. They have a separate boat for that. You will arrive and you will see Napa Wildlife Center appear, out of nowhere. It's fantastic to stay in a lodge, and it's located like on a lake, like a lagoon, which is fantastic at night because we go stargazing here, fishing. You can even swim. So like in the morning, we'll fish for piranhas, and in the afternoon, we'll go swimming. It's crazy, but you will see all the local kids doing it as well. What's lovely about being in a lodge is you will have exposure to all of these trails. So you'll go on hikes, you'll go at sunrise to the peak of the canopy tower and watch parrots and, animals wake up or go to sleep after an active evening. And the sound in the lodge is like nothing you will experience on a boat, because the boat, you close the glass door, put the air conditioning on, and that's it. You can't hear the outside. But in the lodge, you're really exposed through the screened walls to all the howler monkeys screaming and through all the bugs coming around at night outside of your room, of course. So it's really exciting and completely different. So I'm very excited for you to experience it both from the water and from the lodge. Idea is the same. All the meals are included, all the excursions are arranged, and the guides will know that you're coming off a boat, so they will make sure that we're not repeating anything. But it's hard to repeat anything because it's the jungle and it's kind of unpredictable. And of course, the local communities, you will continue meeting local people who make their life here for hundreds and hundreds of years. And that is one of my favorite parts of the jungle, meeting the people and finding out what life is like here. I'm quite an anthropology lover, and people are my passion, and that is why I visit the Amazon so many times. I was just there in February. And then December 30th will come around. We will go back to Coca, make our way by motorboat all the way back to the airport, take that 25-minute flight back to Quito. And now we will pick you up and take you to Quito Center. It's a beautiful, colorful town. The old town is really well preserved. And we will stay at the Plaza Grande, great historic building. That evening, we're going to take you to Nuema. It is the number one restaurant in Ecuador. It just made the list of the top 50 in South America. So it's very exciting for them. Wonderful chef that operates that restaurant. They have a 16-course experience of tasting your way around Ecuador on one table. So I really recommend it. We'll take you there, and then you just choose which menu you want and pay directly at the restaurant. And then the following day is New Year's Eve, and it is a very festive time in Quito. So what we will do is we will do a tour of Quito. And what I do is we don't do just a typical tour. We do a beautiful Guayasamín Museum experience where you are welcome into this private room inside the museum, which used to be this artist's home. He's the most famous artist in Ecuador. His art is phenomenal. And we will do a proper tasting of local wines, of local chocolates, of cacao seeds. So it's one of the best things to do in Quito, and I'm excited to arrange it for you. And then tonight, your hotel will have festivities, a party. There'll probably be fireworks. And the reason I put this picture of these masks is because Quito is known for celebrating New Year's Eve by wearing masks, and there'll be parades, and there'll be lots of festivities in the main square. So your guide will be able to assist you with that and make sure you get the best experience. You can probably be on the rooftop as well, watching all of it. And then January 1st, I'm going to take you to the airport and you will fly home. But I wanted to tell you, if you've never been to Ecuador, and if you have a day or two extra, I really suggest you add them. And we can add Otavalo region. Otavalo is the northern region of Ecuador, just about an hour and a half north of Quito. And that is where indigenous communities are. That is where the largest market is in Ecuador. So it's a really fantastic place. I put this picture here because this is our friend Claudia. She is from an indigenous community, and she welcomes our guests to her home. So you get to see how they live, and she will teach you all about what they eat and how they cook, and her garden is outside, and you get to play with her babies. She just gave birth to her second child. So it's a really nice experience. And I think if you do that, you won't be flying home January 1st when it's a really busy time at the airport. So keep that in mind. We can definitely extend it by a day or two. So I'm sending off all of this to you. Please have a peek. I'm holding a cabin, and I'm holding the room at the lodge, and I look forward to your thoughts. We can tweak it, of course, in any way. These are just our initial ideas. Happy travels.